off the child for and have a parentage order after the birth occurs, and you will not enforce an obligation to give up the child. I understand that there are moral hazards in that, but we're good at law in dealing with moral hazards. I have friends who are very, very good contract lawyers who can address that issue.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I wish we could continue this for another 3 weeks, but there's another panel that's starting.
I would like to answer.
I'm sorry, did you?
Yeah, well, someone had asked me a question.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Yeah. No, someone asked me about whether anything was, I think the question was anything being done in the sending countries to improve conditions so women wouldn't have to, was that your question?
Yeah.
I mean, it requires, changing the global economy. So it's a little difficult. I mean, I think all the kinds of things that we've been talking about all morning, I think would have to happen to create more and better job opportunities for women in their home countries. But I just did want to mention two quick things. One is that another form of organization that's taking place, I know one place in the US, is women nanny cooperatives, where they create their own cooperatives and they try to improve their own skills and their own marketability. So that's when they're already here, but they support each other and try to help each other find jobs and so forth. And then one other quick thing I want to say is, earlier it was mentioned about the differences among women and the class differences in all this. And I think that we, and I say we, women in the wealthier countries really need to acknowledge, yes, the welfare states, the structure of welfare states is responsible for this, but we professional women have benefited from the availability of these kinds of workers. And I think that we need to take responsibility for that. And I think that if, someone was talking about before about employers organizing so that care workers would have someone to negotiate with. And I think that would be one thing, but it could also be that if professional women, especially women in positions like this, where we have access to organizations, really make an issue of this and push against welfare states to be more robust, but also push international organizations to take this issue on board. And I think we've figured out many ways of talking about that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a very good response. I just want to add, what sending countries can do. Indeed, they need to invest more in decent jobs. This is the big message. This is a matter of, this is just a political decision, but that needs to be happening too, and that is currently absolutely lacking. Otherwise, a good number of women would not need to leave their countries if they would have access to quality education and quality public services and so on and so on. I just want to say again that I actually forgot to mention in my presentation that we have moved very far with the campaign for the domestic workers. Well, I mentioned the 10 million. The fact that 10 million domestic workers today are better off, but that's also because 17 countries ratified ILO Convention 189, and we have seen small and major labor law reforms in 30 to 40 countries in just a couple of years, and we have seen new collective bargaining agreements. So, and the movement is continuing. The domestic workers movement is continuing and is becoming unstoppable. And very important part of this as well is the right to organize and to form trade unions, because then you can negotiate better working conditions. Then you can negotiate that your job becomes a decent job. So that is fundamental in all the work we are doing. So I just wanted to point it out particularly. And there was and then the issue with the employers and employment organizations. There are some good cases where, for example, in Uruguay or even here in New York, where employers organizations were created for to negotiate with domestic workers. And to close, and that's related to the question or suggestion from the person who said we need to put Iraq on the list. I just wanted to point out that ITUC has released a policy brief, a legal and policy brief, specifically on domestic workers in the Gulf, but it will also be a very good eye-opener for yeah, to analyze the situation in Iraq. But I definitely will add Iraq to the list, and I would be keen also to get your contact details, because I'm curious where you get your information from. So thank you very much.